You just, you fly in clouds. Once you smell it, it takes you up somewhere into clouds and just you swim in the skies. You forget about yourself. Taste makes you to chew time and again, but smell takes you somewhere else. That's what we call as a fragrance, right? And you just forget about the rest of the stuff around you. You say, we light up some agarbattis now and then, just we get them. When the moment you should light it up, the fragrance comes, it's just a bewitching fragrance, it catches your nose and you forget everything else. By smelling something or by enjoying something, it should take you somewhere. That is what we call the real fragrance. Dvaya mantra has a fragrance of its own. It has a taste, it has a fragrance too. The rishis experienced its taste. Our acharyas experienced its fragrance too. There is a beautiful story about the fragrance of this mantra. Ramanujacharya was living in Srirangam. Kurattalvan, whose name is called Kuresha Mishra, came to Srirangam and there he got 2 children. The story is, of course, I think we know the story, last time we discussed about it. He got 2 children and they, after finishing 12 days, 11 days of their, what you call the asocham, they observe a kind of untouchability, for 11 days after the birth, right? So after finishing the Suddhi activity, the purification activities, Ramanuja, because those 2 children, twins, born out of the prasadam sent by Lord Ranganatha to Kurattalvan's wife, Andallamma. So Ramanuja was very much, interested, fascinated to see those children. So on the 12th day, Ramanuja just called on a disciple called Govinda Bhattar. He was otherwise called as Embar, to bring those 2 children, and he wanted to see them. And that Govinda Bhattar took both of the babies into his laps and just he wanted to bring them to Ramanujacharya. But while bringing, he was very much scared because somebody's eye may fall on them and then something may happen to these babies. These are the babies of Lord Ranganatha's grace, so they should be protected well. Thinking this, he was just chanting Dvaya mantra in his mind. And then he brought those 2 kids and just kept it before Ramanujacharya. Ramanujacharya observed those 2 babies. Are, some fragrance? Here is some fragrance. What a kind of fragrance, Swami? So some Dvaya mantra's fragrance is here somewhere, I understand how this is coming. Then the Govinda Bhattar said, Swami, while bringing these 2 kids, I was just repeating Dvaya mantra, so that, nothing will happen to these babies. Then Ramanujacharya instructed him that you are the guru to these 2 babies. Ramanuja had a pledge to be fulfilled. He wanted to give 2 names of great sages who preserved the Vedic traditions and literature, the Vedavyasa and his father Parasara. And he promised with his Yamunacharya that I keep these 2 names to great souls and preserve them in this world. Let people talk about those great sages always. Ramanujacharya now took this occasion, a chance, to give those 2 names to these 2 babies, and he gave the Namakaranam. He said that the first one is Parasara and second one is Vyasa. So those two children, after they grew up, they became Parasara Bhattar, Veda Vyasa Bhattar. Very, very great souls they are. Great acharyas, of course, in the lineage. After that, Govinda Bhattar became the acharya in the lineage. And next to Govinda Bhattar, it was the Parasara Bhattar, the elder of the two, became the acharya in the lineage. And that Parasara Bhattar was really, really great because he was the one who was totally filled up with the fragrance of Dvaya Mantra. One among the two brothers. So he gave the essence of these mantras in a beautiful sloka called Ashtasloki. There is a stotra called Ashtasloki in which he has given the whole essence of all the three mantras. He gave 8 slokas. Beautiful slokas, They are really gems. To discuss about every meaning of Ashtakshari Mahamantra, he gave 4 slokas, dedicated 4 slokas. 4 slokas for Ashtakshari Mantra. And next 2 slokas for Dvaya Mantra. And 2 slokas for Charma Sloka. Altogether 8 slokas. Very simple, very straightforward, and just, they are just what we call the bullet points. Tuck, 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 tuck. We discuss about the Dvaya Mantra, of course, but before going into details of those mantras, we will give you the synopsis of what Parasara Bhattar said about the Dvaya Mantra. What is the fragrance of Dvaya Mantra? What is the taste of Dvaya Mantra? He discussed about these two in his sloka. Because he was the one who came out of it, who experienced it, who drowned in it, like an Alvar. We know the meaning of Alvar, right? What does it mean? One who dived deep into the ocean of great qualities of God, came out, overwhelmed, outpoured. This is Alvar. We call them as Alvars. Dived deep, experienced in full, came out of it, not able to contain, and just overwhelmed with joy, and that joy was just flowing out of their mouth, and he became an Alvar. And that is it, Alvars. That is with regard to qualities of God. And Parasara Bhattar also was one who drowned in the fragrance and taste of the mantra, Dvaya Mantra. And of course, probably when Dvaya Mantra is given to him as protection, and rest of the 2 mantras also, were involved in that. One we have taken, 2 other also there. Because these 3 is a package. So one comes and everything comes. But to allure you, one has to be told. They just pick up one and they show you. The moment you take it, rest of the 2 things also come to you. So buy 1 and get 2. So Dvaya Mantra was spoken out, but Ashtakshari and Charmaslokam also were there with that. So he was the one who experienced, and his heart was totally filled up with the fragrance and taste of those mantras, and he was just not able to contain in him, and it was outpoured in the form of Ashtasloki. And you need to know that. So tomorrow morning, we first discuss how the great Parasara Bhattar spoke about the Dvaya Mantra in 2 slokas, and then we go into the details of the sutras. Next to Parasara, there were few acharyas in the lineage. Whatever the Parasara Bhattar spoke about the mantras, acharyas were thinking about those meanings and were enjoying always. Nanjiyar came next to him. Nambille has come in the lineage. And then Vadakku Tiruvedi Pillai, another Acharya, came in the line who was called as Krishna Suri. But next to Vadakku Tiruvedi Pillai, that is Sri Krishna Pada, came another Acharya called Pillai Loka Acharya, who was having, who was probably called as the personification of compassion on the humanity. Personified compassion, Parama Karunikar. He said it's Parama Karunikar. When I say compassion, if took their form, that is Pillai Lokacharya, who was the Parama Guru of Manavada Mahamuni. He, out of his compassion, got all the meanings explained by the Parasara Bhattar, and the next Acharyas like Nanjiyar and Nambillai and Vadakku Tiruvedi Pillai, whatever they have elaborated in their commentaries were picked up, and then he formed just a beautiful sentences like aphorisms, and then composed 72 sutras to reveal everything about the Dvaya Mantra. He gave few sutras, what we call them sutras, right, aphorisms. Few sutras to talk about the Ashtakshari Mahamantra, and then that is called Tirumantrartham. And few sutras, some other 72 aphorisms he composed to talk about the Dvaya Mantra. That's called the Dvaya Prakaranam, and a chapter discussing the Dvaya Mantra. And few sutras he composed to talk everything about the Charama Sloka, and that's called Charama Sloka Prakaranam. All these 3 chapters put together is called Mumukshupadi. He composed, of course, other works also ahead this, but they were either much elaborated or very contracted, or having so many other details like the lingual details in Sanskrit, which are very difficult to be understood. And thus he wanted to give something to the people who understand in their own language. That all was his mission. Of course, every detail was there in Sanskrit earlier, but we can't understand Sanskrit, right? We don't know Sanskrit. And we didn't study Sanskrit also. All that we studied is a twinkle, twinkle, little star and A, B, C, D, F. And these are the things we studied. So, for the local people, for a common man to understand, as he himself, the great Manavada Mahamuni in his commentary says, Pennikkum Pedaikkum. That means even to an ignorant, even to a person who did not study much in detail in the scriptures and stuff, these secrets should be understood. They did not lose it. They should not be deprived of knowing the meanings of these mantras, and so they should also be given the essence of all these mantras. Because he was in a place where the Tamil was spoken language, he presented all these things in Tamil. The sutras he composed and gave them. And today, we don't know Tamil also. A stage has come where even we don't know Tamil. And then what do we speak? We speak Telugu, Swami. And a stage has come, we don't know Telugu also. And then what to do? And it should be given in a language which you speak. So today, most of us are acquainted with, English. Maybe it is a perfect English or imperfect English, that's immaterial. But we pose as if we know English. So, in a language you know, or in a language you understand, it should be given. Not revealed, it should be just understood. The great Acharya, Pillai Lokacharya Swami, has given it in detail.